Good morning, beloved. I have to say, you're very robust. The 9:30, it's our first Sunday of 2 services, and the 9:30 was a little like, good morning. And, and so good to have you here, though, with us. However your good morning greets you, even if it's not with robustness. And welcome to those who are joining us online. I'm Reverend Robin. My pronouns are she, her. I'm an average height white woman wearing a multicolored and floral top and stole, trying to bring in some of the continued colors and lightness and hope this day on what has been a hard week. Amen? And it is my joy and my privilege to welcome you to Beacon Unitarian Universalist Congregation, a community where we are deeply committed to radical inclusion, to feeding the human spirit, and to healing the world. And we have an exciting way in which to do that today, something that you might not think of as revolutionary or as shining the light in the world or being a beacon. But today, if you could say, after I say, eat pancakes. Today, eating pancakes could be your daring act. And don't worry, for those of you who can't have gluten, we have gluten-free pancakes. We are very inclusive. Yeah, I know, we're excited. And they're good, too, because we all know, right? Let's be honest. We are hosting our annual pancake breakfast, which is a fundraiser for our tri-partnership. We are very fortunate to have partners in Barot, Transylvania, and Jawai, India, where Unitarianism is flourishing, and we get to learn about our Unitarian siblings. And not only that, this year, both our siblings from India and from Transylvania are coming to visit us in just a few short weeks. And so this fundraiser is going to help us be amazing hosts, take them into the city to see a show, to experience to build our partnership. For many of our partners, this is the first time that they're coming to the United States, and it has been very challenging for them to get visas in our current political context. So it's a very important trip. It's a very important partnership because of what we learn together and the values that we share. And so today, if you want to be part of a community that dares to heal the world, I would just humbly suggest to you, you might eat pancakes. Thank you. And for those joining us online, I hope there are pancakes in all the forms that will nourish you. We're sorry that you're not able to eat the delicious pancakes in person, but you are welcome to support our tri-partnership and this important ministry that extends the light of this beacon far beyond this little corner of New Jersey. Welcome again, beloved. It is good to have you here. Would you take in a deep breath with me and center into this space and time? Across the miles with our gathered community online, across the minutes of whatever brought you here, we are so grateful you are here. We are so grateful you are.
Good morning. Good to see all of you. Feel a little hot. I was downstairs. I was like, oh, ooh. The pancakes are smelling amazing, so I hope that you all will join us after. It is our time to, actually, let me introduce myself. I'm sorry, I'm Reverend J, everyone. I clearly did not take the deep breath seriously when Robin suggested it. I think I was still in the heat of the moment. But I am Reverend J. My pronouns are they and them. And it's good to have all of you. I am, for those who need it, I will say I am wearing a navy blue hat with a Buddha on it. I have on a jacket with a little bit of a sweater and a kilt with a little foxtail. And so it is, that is who I am. We are now going to light the chalice. And I'm wondering if anybody is feeling the heat of the moment like I am and is like, yes. Dang. Okay, let's not light my fire. Yeah, let's see. Anybody fresh? Feeling like I just wanna do the chalice? Okay, there we go. Yes, and you are wearing the colors for fire. Come on. You fly, sir. I like that sweater. Well, thank you. I am grateful to offer the words of the great mystic, Reverend Howard Thurman, who says it best regarding our theme: I want to be me without making it uncomfortable for you to be you. I want to be me without making it uncomfortable for you to be you. Enjoy.
Good morning. My name is Misa Iwama. I'm the Director of Music Ministry, and I'm here with John O'Neill, piano. We're going to start with a new song to us as a group, and it's called Joy in the Morning, written by Adam Pod from Brooklyn. It's not in the hymnal, so I'm just going to teach it to you. It's a simple song with words that repeat. So the first verse has the words, we'll find joy in the morning. Joy in the morning, joy in the morning. In the morning we'll find joy. So the last sentence flips around the phrases, and it goes like this. We'll find joy in the morning. You want to just echo that? We'll find joy in the morning. Joy in the morning. Joy in the morning. A little higher. Joy in the morning. Let's try. Joy in the morning. In the morning we'll find joy. In the morning we'll find joy. All right, I invite you to rise in body or spirit, and I'm going to call out the lyrics as we go, and we'll just try singing this together. We'll find joy. We'll find joy in the morning. Joy, joy in the morning. Joy, joy in the morning. In the morning we'll find joy. We're going to say we find hope. We find hope in our children, hope. Hope in our children. Hope in our children. In our children we'll find hope. We find strength in each other. We find strength in each other. Strength. Strength in each other. Strength in each other. In each other we'll find strength. There is love all around us. There is love all around us. Love. Love all around us. Love all around us. All around us. There is love.
Now is the time for all ages. Now is the time for all ages. I have a little story for you, but we've got to practice a few good things before we go into the story. And I need to know if we have some folk that can join me in making some of these wonderful sounds that we are going to need. Oh, y'all got quiet. Are there any snakes in the house? Can I get a hissing? All right, that's strong. That's strong. I hear you. I hear you right there in the throat piece. Can I get a wolf sound of, all right, where are my owls at? Okay, okay. All right. Here's a tough one for you. Crickets. I'm getting. Yeah, first congregation sounded like rats, so that was a little bit better. Y'all are giving me more squirrel. Y'all are still in the rodent category. I'll take cute tails before I take bare ones. At the end of the day, I'm so happy to share this story with you. So let us prepare to embody those animals as we get ready to share the journey of this little hedgehog who wakes up in the middle of his nest in the garden. He's circled around leaves, and everything around him is brown. He is brown, the nest is brown, the leaves are brown, and he is surrounded by a mother who is also brown, and he is so comfortable in his brown. Go figure. His mother comes to him and says, "Little hedgehog, it's time to learn about the big outside. It's wonderful, exciting place for all hedgehogs, even the little ones. You must find out all about it." Little hedgehog kind of looked at mom and was like, I'm nestled in my brown, comfortable in my brown. Let me stay right here in my brown. You know, she had to give a good stern look. If you don't get up. Now, it's the most important thing for a little hedgehog to go out into the big outside so they can learn how to use their senses. I need you to get up. I want you to look and see, listen and hear, smell and sniff, feel and touch, because that's the only way that you're going to be safe if you want to survive in this big outside. Well, he stretched and yawned. Okay, if you say so. And they stepped outside, and dusk was settling in. The flowers were being covered by darkness, and all of the things that had held the day were now turning into nightfall. So the mother and little hedgehog went out. They heard the little blackbird singing, and he was fascinated. The little hedgehog then sniffed the air and smelled the flowers. He even smelled some soil and was like, yes, that's delightful. And he got into a tree, he felt the bark. One was a little rough, the other tree was a little softer. And he goes a little further with his mom, and he finds a little bit of a bush. It's got some thorns. He smells it, puts his nose to it. Ouch! And that moment kind of steps back, and he's listening. And he hears this crunchy sound through the leaves. He smells, he looks. He doesn't know what he's getting ready to do, because he's never been on the big outside. But it's delightful, and he... That was good. What was that? His mother responded and said simply, "You just ate a beetle." Amazing protein, darling. So, after eating this crunchy beetle, they continued with the big outside, and he continued to look around and see all of the things. He kept sniffing, and he kind of had to scrunch up his face because there was quite a stench. Does everybody make a face for me? Not the best smell in the world. Now, of course, then he smelled those lovely pancakes downstairs, and he's like, yes. And he couldn't help but to feel so good. It was all over his body. He was just like, oh, this is fascinating. Things were soft, and all of a sudden he was listening a little harder, and he heard a little bit of a snake, and he heard some, ooh, let me not go over there, honey. And then he heard a big old wolf. He got a little scared. I don't blame him. I would have gotten scared too. And then he heard an owl. And then he heard crickets. Y'all so friendly. And he was comforted by all of the different noises because he was with his mother. But this was the big outside. And the night was coming to a close, and they finally found their way back home. His mother made sure that he was nestled in, and the little hedgehog, who was not so interested in going into the big outside, decided to get really sleepy all of a sudden. He had so much to dream about, and he was waiting for next time, and for his next adventure in the garden, and he could hardly wait. But as right now, he needed sleep. And that's what happens. Sometimes we go out into unknown spaces, our big outside spaces, and it can be scary, it can be intimidating, it can be fearful, and we sometimes can feel like we lose ourselves. But also in that process of exploring the big unknown, we get a chance to discover the senses that best serve us in times of fear. I thank you, and I hope that you enjoyed our story.
Thank you. Can you hear me in the back? I prefer protein, but I think I'll take pancakes over beetle. Actually, I prefer syrup. Good morning. My name is, good morning back there. My name is Maureen Irwin, and I'm a chaplain here at Beacon and honored to serve in that position. My pronouns are she, her. Today I am wearing a black dress and this maroon scarf that designates me as a chaplain. Beacon chaplains are trained to be deep listeners for our congregants when we need someone to hear our stories, when we're in pain, when we're in grief, when we're listening to the news. And perhaps by doing so, we can heal. We can hear ourselves in a different voice and put some light into our wounds. September brings us the equinox, where we have equal light and dark periods, and then we march too fast to the shortest day of the year. Yet September for me has always been the most exciting. The beginning of school, I still get butterflies in my stomach. I'm afraid, I'm excited for new classes, new teachers, new classmates, new outfits, and the cool air in the morning, and the sweater I always used to leave at school because I don't want to carry it home. September is also my birth month, and now I've been 1 year into a new decade. I've accepted myself as being an elder. Young elder, established elder, doesn't matter. Robin pointed out that now I'm an elder when she gave me the age ranges for middle age. But I can be encouraged about being an elder when I think about the tree leaves becoming their true radiant colors. They lose that youthful hormone of chloroform, and their underlying essence is revealed. Becoming an elder is also an opportunity to let go of the pressures of a career, of raising kids, and an opportunity to allow wisdom to settle in. Reverend Jay has Buddha on his hat. And this week I received, as I regularly do, a Buddhist text on Buddhist wisdom. It's a common one. It's about the persimmon tree. You may have heard it. The fruit of young persimmon trees are astringent and inedible. On their own, persimmon tree fruits only become sweet when they're very, very old. But when young trees are grafted with an aged persimmon tree, their fruits become edible. Buddhists teach that the value of elders, of cultivating grandmotherly mind, is that we can become sweeter, and eldering brings us wisdom, which includes accepting things and our lives as they are, not wishing that they were different, training ourselves, learning to meet our lives and each other as they are in a way to become a sweet person. May we all benefit for the wisdom of the ones who have come before us. Chaplains also facilitate our weekly candle lighting to honor our joys and sorrows. Today we light our first candle to honor all those who have been victimized by violence and the vitriol that infuses anger and ignorance. We light a candle for those who hide in fear of being victimized because they're not accepted as they are as a divine being. We light a candle for Carolyn Johnson, a longtime member of this community, who died in her sleep early Friday after being diagnosed with cancer. We hold her husband Jim, daughter Kathy, grandchildren, and the many dear friends in this community in our hearts. Please come forward in the sanctuary or at home to light a candle for your own joys, your own sorrows. May we all feel safe and protected, accepted and loved. May we have courage to go forward with purpose and love.
we're going to sing together on another piece that might be a little bit unfamiliar. It's in the gray, larger hymnal. It's 142. So the great thing about having a hymnal is that we can all look at some words together. I would say, the first person to say that not every person will even agree with every line of every hymn, but maybe you'll find some kernel of truth in part of the text. So in this one, Let There Be Light, 142, it starts by saying, let there be light, let there be understanding, let all the nations gather, let them be face to face. And in verse 3, perish the sword, perish the angry judgment, perish the bombs and hunger, perish the fight for gain. So we'll sing this together. Let there be light, let there be understanding, let all the nations gather, let them be face to face. Open our lips, open our minds to ponder, open the door of concord, opening into grace. Perish the sword, perish the angry judgment, perish the bombs and hunger, perish the fight for gain. Let there be light, open our hearts to wonder, perish the way of terror, hallow the world God made.
My name is Dana Moore. I use she, her pronouns, and I am wearing my beautiful brown skin, dark glasses, and dark braided hair. I get to serve as your congregational coordinator, and I am excited to eat pancakes and share with you the most wonderful things we have going on right here at Beacon. This year, our theme, much like the words we just sang, is Magnify the Light. And we look forward to carrying that theme into this year of connection. Next week, we have 2 amazing opportunities to get connected right here at Beacon. This Sunday, this coming Sunday, we will have our Connection Fair, a wonderful time where you can sign up and learn about all kinds of small groups and community groups and outreach programs right here at Beacon. Then, at 1 p.m., we will welcome Dr. Wensler Noisy Sr. He will speak with us about the struggle of the San Carlos Apache to protect the sacred lands of Oak Flat, and how it is all of our struggle and responsibility to protect Mother Earth, to defend the sacred and holy across this country, especially in this time of political attack. There are many ways to offer your support and connection and gifts. Today's offering is just one way. Please know that your time and your donations of presence and skill are deeply appreciated and noticed. Our morning offering will now be gratefully received.
written by the great humanitarian Dolly Parton, and she wrote it as she had just resolved a large conflict in her life. So she was driving home, and it was a gray day, and all of a sudden the sky became a blue sky with a clear sun, and the song just came to her. It's been a long, dark night, and I've been waiting for the morning. It's been a long, hard fight, but I see a brand new day dawning. I've been looking for the sunshine. You know, I haven't seen it in so long. And everything's gonna work out just fine. Everything's gonna be alright. That's been all wrong. 'Cause I can see the light of a clear blue morning. I can see the light of a brand new day. I can see the light of a clear blue morning. Everything's gonna be alright. It's gonna be okay. It's been a long, long time since I've known the taste of freedom. Those clinging vines that had me bound, well, I don't need 'em. I've been like a captured eagle. You know, an eagle's born to fly. Now that I have won my freedom, like an eagle, I am eager for the sky. 'Cause I can see the light of a clear blue morning. I can see I can see the light of a clear blue morning. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. It's gonna be okay.
Thank you for singing to our hearts, Misa. You make it easy to believe. The following reading is from the womanist writer Audre Lorde, who writes of the woman's experience as a womanist. But her words about the ability to reflect one's life ring deeper and truer of a range of experiences, including gender identities beyond that of a woman. In her poem, "Poetry is Not a Luxury," Audre Lorde says, "The quality of light by which we scrutinize our lives has direct bearing upon the product which we live, and upon the changes which we hope to bring about through those lives. It is within this light that we form those ideas by which we pursue our magic and make it realized. as we learn to bear the intimacy of scrutiny and to flourish within it, as we learn to use the products of that scrutiny for power within our living, those fears which rule our lives and form our silences begin to lose control over us. For each of us as women, there is a dark place within where hidden and growing our true spirit rises. Beautiful and tough as chestnut stanchions against our nightmare of weakness and impotence. These places of possibility within ourselves are dark because they are ancient and hidden. They have survived and grown strong through the darkness. Within these deep places, in each one of us, holds an incredible reserve of creativity and power, of unexamined and unrecorded emotion and feeling. The woman's place of power within each of us is neither white nor surface. It is dark, it is ancient, and it is deep. Thank you.
Dana. And thank you, Audre Lorde. It is always darkest before the dawn. These are the words of the English theologian Thomas Fuller, who lived through an incredibly tumultuous time in England's history, a civil war in the 1640s. And Fuller was a chaplain who traveled with the troops who were resisting the king's rule. He wrote about his experiences, which included the entire burning of all of his possessions in retribution, the death of many beloveds, and long, fearful nights in battle. In a book entitled Fear of Losing the Old Light, it was in the midst of one of those fearful nights in an encampment with all of the soldiers that Fuller, drawing from the biblical text, which promises that weeping may last the night, but a shout of joy shall be heard in the morning, it was there, under the cloak of darkness, fearing ambush or discovery, that Fuller wrote, "It is always darkest before the dawn." This would become a common phrase, a line drawn by poets and prose writers alike, and even woven into many famous songs, including one by Pete Seeger. I told some of you all last week when I announced in our staff retreat that this was in the 3-year cycle of our themes for the congregation. We do Rooted in Relationship, then Building a Beacon, and then Magnify the Light. When I announced this was the year of Magnify the Light, well, you would have thought I had collectively peed in everyone's Cheerios. Are you sure? Can't we do another theme? What if we just skip magnifying the light this year, okay? That seems a little visionary. So I am not unaware, my head is not buried in the proverbial sand, that to declare we are going to magnify the light begs some questions at the beginning of this moment, like what light exactly are we magnifying? And where possibly in the midst of this fearful dark night could we find light? It is safe to say that summer is leaving us, and we are turning quickly toward fall and winter, both literally and metaphorically. These are not times cast easily with an abundance of light. Indeed, the daily chaos, fear, and suffering is increasingly becoming the norm, not the unusual punctuations. Just this past week, while I was helping to launch in California the tour called Defend the Holy for Wensler, Nosy, and the Apache Stronghold, I took a flight back from LA to Newark. And some of you know I'm a little afraid of flying. Might be some control issues that exist, hypothetically. Any rate, as we were coming in for the landing, we were just about 2,500 feet above the ground, which sounds like a fabulous cushion of space, but is actually not when you are hurtling back toward the earth in a large tin can. And just as we started to come down for that landing, all of a sudden the pilot jerked the entire plane up and aborted the landing, and up we went. And then he got on the loudspeaker and said, "The tower doesn't know what they're talking about. They think..." That is inspiring confidence. "They think I was coming in too fast, but I wasn't, but we're gonna have to circle and try to land again." We did eventually land. To state the obvious, I am here. And I talked to a friend later that day who knows I have a fear of flying, and she said, "How was your day?" And I went through all the manner of things that happened, and I said, "Oh yeah, we were about to land and we had to abort the landing, and then the pilot got on the loudspeaker and said the tower didn't know what they were doing, and then we had to circle, but it's fine." She said, "That normally would have been something that you would have processed with everyone you met for months. And it's just another thing that happened in that day." The chaos, the fear, and the pain have become so normalized in our lives that we barely stop to recognize it. And in such a time, it is tempting, like little hedgehog in our story, to stay where we are, a place that might not work perfectly well at all with all of the stories and meaning making that we have been raised with or accustomed to or developed, even if they are not serving us anymore, even if the place that we are in is not nourishing us. It's comfortable to stay there because it's simply familiar. But some of us are already sensing that these places of familiarity, perhaps in the midst of political violence or the increasing terror of patrol and occupation, that even this once safe small borough is no longer safe. And yet we fear the darkness. I have learned so many times in my life, unlike our metaphors where light is always good and darkness is always bad, metaphors deeply embedded in racism, that the truth is both are necessary in the journey of meaning and mystery to which we particular Unitarian Universalists are called to if we are seeking consciousness. Darkness is not bad. It is simply unknown and mysterious. It is a space where we have to, like little hedgehog, move far more slowly and utilize different senses than we do in the world of light. And light, after all, is not all good. Anybody been out in a hot summer, unrelenting day? Anyone been fooled in the world of light to look at something and think you know because you're only using your sense of sight, and to discover that what you're looking at is not what you thought it was at all? I think of those social media memes where somebody's body is positioned in such a way that it looks like there's one person when there are two, these little optical illusions, or if anyone's seen the dog that looks like it has the head of a goat. Apparently many of you are not in the same algorithm that my social media tends to be in lately. That's okay. But my point is, we can be fooled when we're only using one of our ways of knowing. We think we know, but we don't. Darkness requires a profound encounter with fear, fear of what we do not know, cannot control. But like Little Hedgehog, it can also be filled with discovery, depth, delight. Grief is a great darkness that each of us as human beings will encounter at some point in our lives. Many of you here in this sanctuary are companioning grief right now. I understand it deeply myself as your minister and as a fellow human being. I have journeyed through the ache of not knowing how you will rise each day to keep living when you feel your heart has been demolished by the world, by loss, by something that has been pressed upon you without your choice. You can't imagine a place beyond that moment or how you could At times like this, it feels like the grief will swallow you up, make you cease to exist. I once companioned a family when I was a hospital chaplain whose daughter was rushed into the hospital. She was 8.5 months pregnant with twins. And she had been sent to us from the reservation where there had been completely inadequate, neglectful medical care that ignored the most basic of symptoms. And it meant that by the time she arrived to us, her entire body was shutting down. And the doctors did everything that they possibly could to save her, but they were unable to do so. I was crowded in this very small family waiting room with an extended family. 30 of us gathered in this room, waiting for the doctor. And the doctor came in, and she, as tenderly as she could, tried to deliver the news to the family that their beloved daughter was dead, that the twins were dead. But the family could not hear that truth because it was so unwanted, so unreal, so terrifying. The doctor left the room, and I was clear that the family didn't know because they asked me to pray for her healing. So I got the doctor back, and a second time she tried to explain it, and a second time she was unable to do so. And at last I went and I got one of the nurses to come with the doctor. And it was on that third time that at last the family received the devastating news. In that moment, everyone in the room, without any communication, fell down to their knees, started weeping and wailing. It was the kind of wail that any human being knows, and you can feel it pulling right within you. If you have ever journeyed through any kind of grief, one of the family members asked me to pray with the family, and we joined in this prayer with lament and rage and disbelief and wailing, layering on top of our voices. And I don't remember the words that any of us said. But what I remember most in this extended prayer, which went on and on, as we were huddled in this hot, small room, all together on our knees crying, what I remember the most is that all of our eyes were closed and we held each other's hands. I think there's something so profoundly true and resonant that we begin our lives in darkness, in the darkness of the womb, with no or little light in which to grow and develop. And there's something astounding that it is that darkness the inability actually to see in the very early phases of development that are our most ancient and primal space of Genesis. There is something incredible that when we encounter a great loss or grief, almost all of us first close our eyes. It is as if at a cellular and soul level, we are returning to that womb-like beginning of darkness, of bringing ourselves back into a place, because at some level we know, as terrifying and heart-wrenching as it is, it can also be a place of profound, unchosen transformation. Indeed, it is always darkest before the dawn. I know in companioning my own grief and those moving from the solitude of grief to public mourning, that grief does not swallow you up, and nor does fear, not if it's companioned. I have known that being companioned, journeying through grief, journeying through fear, can have moments of profound beauty and somehow the discovery of a deeper safety, moving through the reality that tragedy can strike any of our lives, and clearly our country at any time. It is this scrutiny that Audre Lorde writes about, the self-examination to face those inner parts and knowing that we fear what we'll discover within ourselves. But Audre Lorde teaches it is those places of possibility within us that are dark because they are ancient. So where does the light come from? Perhaps it is sourced by our courage to return to the most elemental of our experiences together and the wisdom and the strategy to not go it alone. To admit we don't know, we can't control, we cannot shape this space, but we can survive it together if we have strategic courage, as our president, Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt, and the senior staff of our denomination say, strategic courage and courageous strategy. This is how we will journey in this darkness. Strategic courage and courageous strategy. Yes, we are in a great time of grief and fear, each of us. And it may just signal, as the ancient wells of knowing open, that the dawn is yet coming. May we have the strategic courage and the courageous strategy to move slowly, to listen, to be generous companions in this darkness, to wait patiently until the ancient wells within us open, and to study the horizon even when we cannot see it. Because, beloved, even in this moment, as I have so much terror for my loved ones and our communities, I still believe it is always darkest before the dawn.
Don't you know it's darkest before the dawn? And this thought keeps me moving the beginning of the Pete Seeger song. We are going to sing our closing hymn, which is number 1000 in the Teal hymnal. So before we gather our breath to do that one, I just want to say that we have our choir season starting up. Choir rehearsals are on Thursday evenings at 7 o'clock. We'll have the first one on the 25th. But there's also one-day choir, and that is on Sunday, September 28th. It'll be after the service. It'll be at 12:30. We'll have lunch, and then we'll just sing for an hour and learn some new repertoire, which you might, be able to sing later on in the year. And this kind of, hymns, it's really just a time to have fun and to rejuvenate, to get everyone else's energy, and to practice hope. And I'll say, as we sing 1000, Morning Has Come, that's what we're doing. We're singing out our hope. I invite you to rise in body or spirit and join in singing. And thank you, John. Here we go. Morning has come, arise and greet the day. Dance with joy and sing a song of gladness. The light of hope here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. A new day dawns, once more the gift is given. Wonder fills this moment shared together. The light of peace here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. Open our eyes to see that life abounds. Open hearts to welcome it together. The light of love here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home.
Beloved, would you take hands with one another for this, our closing blessing? And for those of you joining us on our live stream, I invite you, as you're able, to extend your hand toward mine. Whether you're holding a literal hand or extending one toward the screen, know that this energy, this companionship, this love goes with you far from this moment until we are given the grace to meet again, to gather once more. May you know that love within you. May you touch those ancient wells of knowing. And so may you be companioned in any darkness you journey through. Amen, and blessed be.